All right, so this is going to be the review video going over the packet I just gave you in class. So from here, you're just asked to state if the triangles are in each pair are similar. So there are three methods we can use: side, 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 angle, or angle, angle. And remember, when we talk about our angles, they are congruent, meaning they're equal. And when we talk about sides, they have the same ratio. So we're not just looking to see, are the sides exactly the same? Right, so now for this one, it doesn't matter how I get started, but I need to create three ratios because I don't have anything about my angles. So that means I have to see, are all sides proportional? Do they all have the same ratio? So I'm going to start with this top triangle, and I'm going to start with 48. So 48 is the smallest of these three sides, so I know that it corresponds with this 36. All right, 48 can't correspond with any of the other two because 48 is the smallest of the three sides. Therefore, it has to correspond with the smallest of the three sides here. This will reduce, 12 goes into both of these, it reduces to 4/3. Right now, I need to move on to the next one. So I picked 52, and 52 is the middle size number. It's the one that's the middle between 48 and 56. So that means it corresponds with this 39. Since the top triangle went on top last time, the top triangle has to go on top of this one as well. 13 divides evenly into both of these. So then this reduces also to 4/3. And then the last one, the largest side, is what's left over for both, and it's the largest side, so 56/42. And for this one, 14 goes into both of these, and 14 goes in this 4 and goes into this 3 times. So since all three of these are the same, check, yes, our answer is side, side, side. And now to write this corresponding or the similarity statement, we need to look and see, well, how did they write it? They did RQP. So they went RQP. So they went through the smallest side through the largest. So our smallest side is here, and this is our largest, so it's got to be BCD. We have to go through the smallest and through the largest. So triangle BCD. Do not forget to put your triangle symbol. All right, so for this one, immediately I know that 51 is congruent to 51. Those are angles, so I know that I have one congruent angle. So that means it's going to be most likely, or the one that we're going to test for now is side, angle, side. So I'm going to pick any side I want. I'm going to pick 20. Now 20 is the largest of these two sides, so I need to pick the largest of the two sides here, which is 70. This reduces to 2/7. All right, then 16 is the smallest of the two, and so is 56, so 16/56. Well, 8 divides evenly into both of these, so it would be 2/7 as well. So since both of these are the same and the included angle is the same, it is side, angle, side. And now to write our similarity statement, well, we look and see, well, what did they give us first? They did BCD. So BCD, so they went through the smaller of the two sides. So it's got to be TUV. So triangle TUV. All right, let's move on to the next one. So let me put this here still. Side, 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 angle, and angle, angle. All right, so for this one, there's something I can add immediately. I know that these two angles are vertical angles, so I know that they're congruent. Right, this last one, they gave us that they're congruent by the 51 and 51. Here we know that they're congruent because of the vertical angles. Then I'm going to pick 33. That is the larger of the two. So I'm going to do this up here. Let me just move this down a little bit. So it'll be 33. The larger of the two here is 23. Well, this doesn't reduce. There is no number that goes into 33 and 23. And since we create the other fraction, 20/14, it doesn't equal to it. This one, it is not similar. All right, we move on to the next one. Same thing. These are vertical angles, so I know that they have to be congruent. So I'm going to pick 88 first. Well, 88 is the larger of the two, and so is 24. Well, 8 goes into 88 11 times, and 8 goes into 24 3 times. 77 was the smaller of the two, and so was 21. Well, 7 goes into 77 11 times, and it goes into 21 3 times. These two are both the same. The included angle is the same, so yes, it will be side, angle, side. And now let's go ahead and write the similarity statement. So they did CBA. Well, CBA, they went from the vertical angle through the smaller. So from the vertical angle through the smaller, so it will be triangle CQR. All right, let's write side, 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 angle, and angle, angle down. All right, so for here, I know I can add these vertical angles. They are congruent. And I also know that these two angles are congruent as well because they tell me that they're both 35. So since I have two angles that are congruent, yes, we know that they're congruent through angle, angle. This is probably the easiest one to use. they did PQR. So they went from the vertical angle to the 35. So we need to go from the vertical angle to the 35. So it will be triangle PCD. All right, so we can check this because Q and C we know have the same angle measurement, so they have to be written in the same spot here. All right, I know I'm going through this video kind of quickly, but it is just a review. There are other videos out here that if you need to watch where I go through it a little bit slower, you can watch those as well. There are 2 videos for section 20D, and that is all that this quiz is going to be on. All right, so for number 6, we're given 3 sides. So I'm going to first start with 44. 44 is the largest of the 3, and so is 33. So I will do 44 over 33. This reduces to 4 over 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick 40. That's the middle one. So 30 is the middle one. Well, 40 over 30. So this will reduce to 4 over 3. And then our last one, 36 and 28. Well, 4 goes into 36 9 times. 4 goes into 28 7. This is not equal, so it is not similar. Remember, all 3 have to be the same, not just 2 of them. All right, let's move on to the next one. Side, 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 angle, and angle, angle. All right, I'm only going to do one of these 2. I'm not going to do 8, just for interest of time, since 7 and 8 are pretty much the same one. So here I see that they both include this angle B, so that means I'm going to try for side, angle, side. And here you are given all 3 sides, so you could try side, side, side if you want it, but there's no need when you're given a triangle like this. You're just going to be taking more time by doing that 3rd side. So now 32 is equal to the other one, so it doesn't really matter, but we know 32 will correspond with this 8. And here I know this 7 and this 32 correspond. Well, 32 and 7 can't reduce, and it doesn't equal 32 over 8, so this is not similar. All right, you can do the exact same thing here, but 42 will correspond to this 18, and this 49 will correspond to this 21, and then you can see, are they the same ratio? And if they are, then we know that the triangles are similar. All right, for this next one, number 9, I know that these are vertical angles, so I'm going to add my arc marks. They're telling me that these are equal with the 1 arc mark, so that means, yes, angle, angle. All right, now I just need to write the similarity statement. They went BCD, so they went from the vertical angle to the arc mark to the non-arc mark. So it's got to do BKJ, so triangle BKJ. For this one, the answer is not similar. You may think it is because you're seeing that triangles or angles have arc marks, but this has 4, this has 3, this has 1, this has 2. None of them have the same arc mark, so none of them are equal to each other. All right, so now let's move on to the next one. I'm going to do the work over here off to the side for each of these. So we're solving for the missing length, so that's this FL. So I'm going to say FL corresponds with the longer side, LN. All right, then I know that I have both of these 7 and 10 from the smaller triangle here. So I'm just going to pick 7 because it's a smaller of the 2. So that means it's going to be LE in my numerator because LE corresponds or is in the same triangle as LF. So I'm staying consistent. And then it corresponds with this side LM. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and plug in what I know. So it'll then be FL over LM, which is 15, is equal to LE, 7 over 21. Well, let's reduce this first. So FL over 15 is equal to 1 over 3. I now am going to cross multiply. So I get 3FL is equal to 15. Divide each side by 3. And that means that FL is equal to 5. All right, I'm not going to do 13 or 14 because it is the exact same thing that we just did here. So if you need help for 13 or 14, please just rewatch number 11. All right, now let's go ahead and do number 12. All right, so I'm asked to solve for LM. Now in this case, they give me a similarity statement, so I need to read the similarity statement. Well, LM is the first 2 letters and it corresponds to AB. So I need to put LM and AB in the same ratio. The other side I'm given in this triangle is LN, and LN is the first and third. So that means it corresponds with the first and third, A and C. Right, so LN corresponds with AC, so it could be LN over AC. Now we know that these ratios have to be equal because the triangles are similar. And they tell us that with the similarity statement, and they apply it with the question. So now we just plug in what we know. Well, LM we don't know. AB is equal to 64. ln is equal to 14, and AC is equal to 112. Now we reduce this fraction. Well, 14 goes into 112 8 times. So LM over 64 is equal to 1 over 8. Now by reducing it, it is a lot easier of a question for us to work with. 8LM is equal to 64. Divide each side by 8. That means LM has to be equal to 8. All right, I am also going to skip 15 as well. We did multiple of these in class, and it's similar to the one that we did already in number 11, so I am going to skip 15. If you need help with any of these three in particular, you can reach out or try and watch one of the other videos that I did already. All right, now for the last 5, we're asked to solve for x. So first off, where is x? X is GF. So I'm going to write GF over here. And what does GF correspond with? It's the last 2, so it corresponds with KL. All right, then I look and see, well, the other triangle, the other side of the triangle I have is FE. I need to stay consistent. GF was in the numerator, so FE has to be in the numerator, and that corresponds with JK. All right, that sets up my proportion. Now I just plug in and see, what do I know? Well, 8x over 8, that is what KL is equal to FE is 21 over 7. Now this one's actually going to be a lot easier for us because not only does this 21 over 7 reduce to 3 over 1, but this 8 and this 8 reduce to just x over 1. So then this just means that x has to be equal to 3. So this one, there really wasn't any work to do besides setting it up. Once we set it up, we were actually able to simplify this one to make it a little bit easier for us. All right, let's go ahead and do number 17 now. So same thing, I identify where's my x. It's part of this BC. So BC gets written first, and that corresponds with CS. So that gets written here. Then I look and see what other side do I have. I have AC. So since BC went in the numerator, so is AC have to go in the numerator, and AC is our first and third, so it corresponds to CT. All right, now I can go ahead and plug in what I know. BC is equal to 4 plus 22x. And CS is equal to 30. AC is equal to 63, and TC is equal to 27. All right, I'm going to reduce this. I'm going to just write it, I'll write it underneath. 4 plus 22x over 30. You could actually reduce this fraction a little bit if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. I don't want to confuse anyone. This is 27. So 9 goes into 63 7 times. It goes into 27 3 times. Now we will cross multiply. So remember, you must put this in parentheses. This is where a lot of people are going to make their mistake because they're not going to distribute it. This gets distributed into both. So it's 12 plus 66x. A lot of people, I think, will only multiply to that 4, the first number. Now we have 7 times 30, which is 210. All right, now we're just going to continue down here to solve. So I will subtract 12, So 66x is equal to 198. Divide this by 66, divide this by 66, and x is then equal to 3. So x is equal to 3. All right, let's move on to the next ones, 18 and 19. Let's erase this so I have space to work. All right, I'm going to skip 19 because it's very similar to the one that we just did, number 17, and I'm going to skip 20 as well. So if you need me to go over 19 or 20, then you're going to have to reach out if you need help with that. You have the answer key, so if you need help, just reach out. VU corresponds with the first 2, so it's UF, so VU corresponds with UF. And then I look and see, well, the other side I have is WU, and WU corresponds with first and third UG. Right, so now once I get what the corresponding sides are, I just substitute what I know. Well, VU is 4x plus 12, and UF is equal to 24. So make sure that you are going off of the similarity statement and not the appearance, because I think a lot of people are going to say it corresponds with 26, and you're going to make a mistake there. All right, so then we set it equal to WU, which is going to be 65, over top of UG, which is 26. And in this one, we can reduce because 13 goes into both of these. So it will be 4x plus 12 over 24 is equal to 5 over 2. And now we will cross multiply. So then remember, don't forget to put this in parentheses. It's something we went through earlier in the year, and I've been saying it time and time again in this section that do not make this mistake. We will distribute this into both. So we get 8x plus 24 is equal to 120 minus the 24 minus the 24. So we get 8x is equal to 96. Divide each side by 8. Divide each side by 8. X is then equal to 12. So x is equal to 12. All right, that is it that I'm doing for this video. If you need help for any of the other questions I skipped, remember, similar to the ones that we already did. And there's other videos you can watch from Section D as well if you need to. But if you need help, just reach out.